Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the English Life Project. I'm Alex Carter, and today I want to start with a simple question for you. Do you clean your house once a year for 10 hours and then ignore it for the rest of the year? Probably not. You clean it little by little, regularly. Or think about exercise. Do you go to the gym for 5 hours one day and then never move again for 6 months? Of course not. You move your body a little bit each day. Small action. Repeated often. Learning English works in exactly the same way. You do not need one long, exhausting study session. You don't need to sit with a grammar book for half a day. What really changes your English is small, steady effort. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, every single day. That is the secret. Let's talk about the word consistent. When you are consistent, you do something regularly. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait until you feel ready. You simply show up, again and again, on good days and on tired days. That steady rhythm is what builds skill. In this episode, I'm going to explain why daily English practice is so powerful and how it slowly transforms the way you speak. Not in one dramatic moment, not overnight, but step by step. So why does daily practice matter so much? First, your brain learns through repetition. When you hear the same structure many times, it becomes familiar. At the beginning, everything feels new and difficult, but after hearing a phrase again and again, your brain starts to recognize it quickly. It becomes easier, more natural. Second, repetition builds automatic response. In the beginning, speaking English can feel slow. You pause, you search for words, you translate from your first language. That is normal, but when you practice every day, your brain and mouth begin to work together faster. You don't think as much, you just speak. Third, steady practice builds confidence. Confidence does not appear magically, it grows from experience. When you use English every day, even in small ways, you prove to yourself that you are capable, and that belief changes everything. Remember this simple idea: a little practice every day is more powerful than a lot of practice once in a while. Transformation does not happen in one big action, it happens in many small ones. And as I've mentioned in other episodes, even 10 to 15 minutes per day can make a real difference. The important thing is not the length of time, it is the regular habit. You might be thinking, okay, Alex, but what should I actually do in those 10 or 15 minutes? Great question. Let's look at 5 simple activities you can choose from. You don't have to do all of them, even one is enough. Number 1. Listen to English. Listening is powerful. Choose short audio made for learners. It could be a short story, a daily conversation, or a simple podcast episode like this one. You do not need to understand every word. That is not the goal. Just try to catch key words and general meaning. You can listen while walking, cooking, cleaning, or relaxing. The important thing is exposure. Your brain needs to hear English often. The more you listen, the more natural English will begin to sound, and that is where real progress begins. Number 2. Practice shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a sentence and repeat it at the same time as the speaker. You speak together, almost like an echo. You copy the rhythm, the pronunciation, and the speed. This is one of the best ways to improve fluency. Start with very short sentences. For example, I'm heading to work. Say it out loud, again and again. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on rhythm and flow. When you repeat sentences many times, your mouth becomes more comfortable forming the sounds. Your speech becomes smoother, more connected. Number 3, read something short. Choose an easy story, a simple article, or even a short paragraph. Read slowly. If you see a new word, try to guess its meaning from context. Sometimes you'll be right, sometimes you won't. That's okay. If the word is important, look it up. But don't stop every few seconds. Keep moving forward. Reading helps you see how sentences are built. You notice patterns. You absorb vocabulary naturally. Number 4, write a small paragraph. You do not need to write an essay. 3 to 5 sentences are enough. Write about your day. What did you do? How did you feel? Or write about tomorrow. What are your plans? Writing helps you organize your thoughts in English. It forces you to use grammar actively instead of just recognizing it. For example, today I worked from home. I had 2 meetings. In the evening, I cooked dinner and watched a show. Simple sentences, clear ideas. That is perfect. Number 5, speak to yourself out loud. Yes, really. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing. I'm making coffee. I'm opening my laptop. I'm getting ready to leave. This might feel strange at first, but it is extremely effective. It trains your brain to think directly in English instead of translating. Now, let's talk about results. If you practice today for 15 minutes, will you suddenly sound like a native speaker? No, of course not. But something small will change. After 1 day, you feel proud. You kept your promise. Maybe you learned 1 new phrase. Maybe you understood a sentence more clearly than before. That small success matters. For example, you hear someone say, "What's up?" Now you understand that it means, "How are you?" That's progress. It may feel tiny, but tiny steps move you forward. After 1 week of daily practice, something interesting happens. You've practiced 7 days in a row. Your brain starts to relax around English. It feels less foreign, less stressful. You begin to recognize phrases faster. You translate less. You guess meanings more accurately. Imagine you see the sentence, "I'm on my way." Even if you never studied it directly, you understand from context that you are going somewhere right now. That is real development, and it comes from consistency. Now, let's imagine 1 full month of steady practice. 30 days, small effort, every day. At this point, English begins to feel familiar. Not perfect, not easy all the time, but familiar. You have seen many words before. You have repeated many phrases. You have written many short paragraphs. Your reactions become faster. You don't need to open a dictionary for every small doubt. You can understand the general message even if some words are new. That is growth. Of course, you may still feel shy. Many learners feel nervous when speaking. You might worry about mistakes. You might think your accent is not good enough. But each time you speak, even a little, you build strength. Confidence is not the absence of mistakes. It is the willingness to try. And when you practice daily, you prove to yourself, "I am improving. I am capable. I can do this." Confidence grows slowly, like a plant. You water it daily. You do not see change immediately, but one day you notice it has become strong. Now let me give you some practical advice to help you stay consistent. First, track your practice. Use a calendar. Create a simple checklist. Write the days of the week. Each day you practice, mark it. Listening, reading, writing, speaking. When you see a chain of completed days, you feel motivated to continue. Progress becomes visible. Second, use a timer.
Sometimes we tell ourselves, I'm too busy today, but most of us can find 10 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. Promise yourself you will focus only during that time. When the timer rings, you can stop. Or, if you feel inspired, you can continue. Starting is often the hardest part. A timer makes starting easier. Third, choose a fixed time. Habits grow stronger when connected to routine. Maybe you practice every morning before work, or every evening before bed, maybe during lunch break. When English becomes part of your daily rhythm, you don't need to think about it. It simply happens, just like brushing your teeth.
Finally, make your practice enjoyable. If learning feels boring, it becomes difficult to continue. So choose topics you like. If you love cooking, read recipes in English. If you enjoy travel, watch travel videos. If you like music, learn the lyrics of a song. Interest creates energy. Also, prepare your materials in advance. Save a podcast episode. Bookmark a short story. Keep your notebook and pen nearby. When everything is ready, there are fewer excuses. Starting becomes easy. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about persistence. Some days you will feel motivated. Some days you won't. That is normal. What matters is showing up anyway. Remember the image of planting a tree. You water it every day. At first, nothing seems to change. The soil looks the same. The seed is invisible. But underground, roots are forming. Then one day, a small green leaf appears. Your English grows in the same quiet way. You may not notice daily progress, but over weeks and months, the difference becomes clear. You speak a little faster, you understand a little more, you hesitate a little less. Small daily action leads to powerful, long-term results. So here's my message for you today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for more free time. Start with 10 minutes. Start today. Keep practicing, keep showing up, keep believing that improvement is possible. I'm Alex Carter, and this is the English Life Project. See you in the next episode.